Kate, I'll call you at all today. No, I couldn't find the ordinance, or where would it be where it talks about draining? So like if someone puts in gutter,
Okay, I didn't look up draining. That might be,
like I was trying to find drainage stuff.
yeah, I hadn't found anything filed yet, so
Okay.
I didn't know. I didn't know if there'd be anything in like the IBC,
That's what I'm guessing is probably.
right? Like it. We in our ordinances adopted the 2009 IBC, so if there's something in there, possibly, I don't know.
So far, the contractor's been working with him, but he's afraid that,
If something were to happen.
right,
Yeah,
because there's more and more mud getting all over his yard at this point. They've gotten the water to stop, but,
mhm. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll look.
and then I just told him to go talk to his neighbor, because he's the chairman, he has more pull.
Is this a new? Now?
Okay.
All right. I've got a time at 6:30. Let's call the meeting to order. Kate, let's have a roll call.
Scott McCorney.
Here.
Jeremy Hansen.
Here.
Paul Kraus.
Here.
Jason Weesey.
Here.
Travis Kramer.
Here. Notice that the Open Meetings Act is posted on the back wall. Item 4, public comment. Is there anybody here for public comment? If not, we'll move on. Item 5, consent agenda. We do have a couple things we need to separate. Items B and C need to be pulled out because of missing board members from meetings. And so item A and D we can approve as one. Note the item AA, 5th season sprinkler repair.
Mhm.
That is a bill passed to us from Stan Misfelt, and it has tax in it, so we needed to take the tax out of that for approval. So instead of $1481.99, it'd be $1424.48. If that works for you all to approve A and D together. And then
Why wasn't that a part of the street project then? So I thought that's what,
Jason, JEO held that, they held money back
and that's,
from Graham, which covered that, plus the seating issues that we had with it on, so that you'll see there's some invoices in there, I do believe, from that we're paying out to these people that JEO suggested that was in their line items for their contract, the original contract, that's what they were gonna pay.
because I thought we were done with all those kinds of things.
No.
They're still trickling
I think
in.
this is about it.
Nope.
You said D and B and C need to be.
we have to pull them out because I wasn't at the last
B
meeting.
and C, okay.
Yeah, and Jeremy wasn't at the budget.
Yeah. Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items A and B with the correction of the dollar amount, $1,424.48 on item AA.
Second that.
Kate, we have a motion and a second to approve items A and D with the adjusted amount on item AA. Can we have a vote?
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weesey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item 5B, approval of minutes from June 16th, 2025, regular board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 16th, 2025 regular board meeting.
I'll second.
Kate, we have a motion and a second. Let's have a vote.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Jason Weesey.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Abstain. Item 5C, approval of minutes from July 17th, 2025 budget prep meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented from the July 17th, 2025 budget prep meeting.
I'll second that.
Kate, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from July 17th, 2025 budget prep meeting. Let's have a vote.
Jason Weesey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Abstain.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item 6, unfinished business. A, discussion about water drainage study from JEO. Steve, welcome.
Welcome. Hi.
Did we do D? Item D?
Yeah, that was in.
A and D.
A and
Consent
D.
agenda.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No. I hadn't caught it.
Steve, did you want to go over the drainage study or did you want somebody who was there to go over it?
However you want to do that, I've got the report here so I can touch on it too, so.
I can go over what we found briefly. We had
Andy Thompson is or Boville is also on the Zoom for this specific item.
Okay.
Just jumped in.
So we had three areas that we wanted to look at in specific, the sump at Elkhorn and Ellsworth Streets. Location 2 would be the railroad culvert south of the trailer parking area. And location 3 would be Katy Drive channel to the north. We had two options on location 1. That would be Elkhorn and Ellsworth Streets. And one recommendation was to remove part of the berm to allow drainage down that hill. The other one,
Page 7.
yeah.
Yep.
And the other recommendation was to redo some of the storm drains underneath of the street and connectors. And if we were to reconstruct the storm sewer system, that project is, the conceptual estimate is $455,000. The berm removal is $409,000. If we decided to do the reconstruction of the storm sewer system, then the berm removal probably wouldn't be necessary. And location 2, page 11. That would be pretty basic there. After looking at the drainage to that area, it looks like the addition of 3 more culverts next to the culvert that is there would be the recommendation to help drain that. And actually, we've been getting pretty lucky with these big rains. Now that we've got that culvert cleaned out, I think we should probably talk to the railroad, and if they have any plans to do dual track, that we say, hey, we'd like some more culverts there, but I think just getting it cleaned out has gotten us ahead of the problems that we were having there. And then location 3, Katy Drive channel. That's pretty much just grading. The recommendation there is grading, widening the existing channel, and the cost estimate of that was $273,000. I forgot to add the price for the railroad culvert. That estimate was $244,000. And we talked briefly about that this morning. That who knows what that would be if the railroad's going to do another project there. So as a streets committee, I think our recommendation is going to be to probably focus on reconstructing the storm sewer system at location 1, Elkhorn and Ellsworth Street. That would be what our budget request is going to be for this year. And I think the other ones can probably wait. So if anybody had any questions now?
So Paul, the Ellsworth one, like the storm sewer system that's in place now is just not large enough? Is that the issue or?
It's undersized.
Under.
The pipes are undersized and the inlets are undersized.
Significantly. I can send you the video. Last time.
Here's. Maybe I'll have this report, but that may be a copy.
I think it's 12 inches.
Yeah,
We'll see-
and the recommendation is.
And then you can see like the
Proposed.
proposed inlets are a lot bigger too, large throat inlets. But it's not big.
Thank you.
So it's all undersized.
And 3 additional inlets on the north lateral line and existing curve to be removed and replaced with larger inlets. So,
Hey, I have a question.
yes,
Did they run an actual camera through the actual drainage pipe that goes along the back of my house to the actual like manhole or to where it dumps into the wooded area? Like, is that pipe actually okay or not?
I don't think they TV'd the whole thing. They looked in pipes, but I don't think they cameraed the whole thing. That wasn't part of the scope of the study. But that purple line is gonna be, I would assume that you're talking about the largest line in your backyard. And that's gonna be a proposed size of a 36-inch pipe, so that'll have to be replaced.
Right now. it's
Okay,
12.
just wanted to verify, just because I
Yeah.
was back there this weekend after it rained because we lost a lot of stuff again, but there's big holes that you can stick a good couple feet down into. So I just wasn't sure where it was on the plan with that.
Yeah, John thinks that's a 12-inch pipe existing, and their proposal is to go to a 36-inch pipe.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
I think the significance is the existing pipes are all undersized, except there's one segment of 36 that's okay. It's not on the outlet.
That's at the very
And
end.
then the inlets are undersized and not enough of them. Just because of that sun condition in there to get the water out of there.
Like we talked about this morning, there was a manhole cover. We didn't used to have a sealed cover on that. I think a lot of the water used to just go down that.
And then you're retreating it.
Yeah.
That's a whole other issue.
That's all I have on that.
Okay.
Does anybody have any more questions? Kenzie, did you have any other questions?
Nope,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. In that case, I think we'll move on from item A. Item B, discussion and possible approval to end people service contract for September 30th, 2025. Russ, you've been in the role now for a month and a half
Yeah, somewhere there.
and going okay. I mean,
Things going fine.
I know we had to lean on people services for a while. Are you finding yourself in a spot you're comfortable that if we,
Yeah.
I think people services
I'm ready to roll.
ending at
Yeah.
any time, so we could set a terminate contract August 1st date. If
That should
everyone
work. Yeah.
thought it was in our best interest.
Does anybody have any concerns? If not, I'll make that motion. I would like to make the motion to end our people services contract. And you want August 1st as the date?
We'll say September 30th, ended on September 30th. So
So-
it ends in September.
Okay,
I'm still, hold on, I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
July 31st.
July.
this is July.
Yeah,
You want to do it
sorry.
in July or August?
I think as soon as possible from based on what I'm
End of
hearing.
this
I
month.
mean, they didn't do anything yesterday.
I'm so sorry. That's the end of the
Covered their
normal.
butts, and then they showed up with all the alarm.
okay,
That is a valid date, the 31st, the end of the month.
right? Day of the week, yeah,
Okay.
should be good.
Yes, there we go.
Then I will make a motion to end our people services contract on July 31st, 2025.
I will second that.
And we've already been given permission from them to end it early. There should
They
be.
said they would have an interest in ending it early as
Okay.
well, so we have every reason to believe they'll be okay with this.
Okay.
Kate, we have a motion and a second to approve ending the people services contract on July 31st, 2025. Let's have a vote.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. 6C, discussion about budget items. Kate threw this on the agenda in case you had anything you want to talk about from our budget meeting or anything new since then, just to have an opportunity to discuss it some more. Nothing specific in mind. Anything new or else we'd like to add to the budgeted items discussed last Thursday?
We just have some numbers on the street and there's going to be corrections in our 1 to 6 year plan. So
Okay. Is that this number, Paul? Oh, wait. Yeah, ER1 removal.
I'm gonna guess it's probably the new stuff on the email you sent.
I don't have this. I have the new 1 and 6 plan. This one, I have 455. Is that,
That was the
Okay.
estimate for the,
yeah, I
doing
think
the drainage.
Okay.
the 455.
Six is on there.
Yeah, I've checked copies.
And he's got copies of it.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion items for the budget? Okay. If not, let's move on. Item 7A, discussion with Chris Meeks from OPPD.
It's not here.
He's not on, so we're gonna go ahead and table that for now. Back to 7B, discussion with Steve Parr regarding the 1 and 6 year plan.
Hey.
Hello again.
Okay, so met this morning. And so made some revisions from what I had sent you, which actually what I had what I had sent for the packet was last year's. And so this is easy to revise, but I thought let's review this. So hang on to that, but I want to review a couple other things with you first. Okay, this is in regard to Bell Street and First Street. And if you recall, we did a qualified doing some repair work on both of those streets. Okay, so this is kind of a summary of that. So if you look at this one right here, so on Bell Street, if you recall, back in 2023, Teal Geotech did a pavement evaluation of Bell Street and First Street. Okay, and they made some recommendations. So on Bell Street, that existing asphalt's in pretty decent shape, except there's transverse cracks in there, right? And those are starting to open up and you drive it and there's that bump thing. So we went and quantified that. And there's a few places where there needs to be some patching. But anyway, we quantified that and came up with a cost opinion of about $237,000 to do that repair work on Bell Street. That's a mile-long stretch of roadway in there and take care of that. So that would give you, the roadway actually is in good shape, but that would take care of that. And then at some point in the future, we're probably going to need to do a mill and overlay on that roadway, but that's probably down. That should be down the road a ways. Okay. And then we looked at First Street from the highway up to Bell Street, and that's a half a mile section of roadway. And we looked at just patching and once again, that joint repair. There's more patching on there, which you've seen that. And so our estimate on that to do that is about $317,000. And that would patch the roadway, take out the bad spots and patch that back, and take care of those transverse joints again, okay? But that roadway is really not thick enough to handle the traffic, and that's why you got that going on there, right? So we took cores on there in that report, and the average core thickness on that section of roadway is about 5.5 inches. And it should probably be about like 8 inches or 9 inches, right? Because you got some truck traffic on there, farm market type road. So that's why there's some failure going on. It's just not thick enough. So put together just a cost estimate to see what that would look like if we did a 3-inch overlay, a mill and overlay on that. So in other words, we did the patchwork and then decided like, okay, let's maybe do take off about 1 inch and then put 3 inches back. Now we're getting close to 8 inches, 7 to 8 inches of roadway. So it's thicker, obviously. But with that, we're going to have to redo some shouldering and probably do some ditch work in there because there's not much of a shoulder there now. There really should be. And then that's going to push things out. So that's why that estimate is about $451,000. And that's because of that shouldering work. But there isn't anything being done with like the drainage pipes or anything like that. It's still a rural section road. I sent an email off on Friday. I didn't get a response because it was kind of short notice. I was just curious what Teal would think about that, as far as like, is that a good plan or not? Because in their report, they said the best plan would be to reconstruct that roadway, right? Just because they have truck traffic on it. So there's another positive opinion of if we took everything out, including replacing drainage pipe and building some storm sewer in there and building a 9-inch thick concrete roadway, whether it needs to be dowel pavement or non-dowel pavement, that's the number you're looking at, which is a significant cost. But that might be the best long-term fix because I think you can see the concrete paving that we've done or that has been done in the last few years. It looks nice and it's going to last a long time, right? So you don't have to make any decision on this tonight. It's just something to think about. I'm going to be curious to see when Teal comes back and just see what their thought is. But I think with that 1/2 mile section of roadway, we really need to think of like, what's the long-term fix there? Okay. So saying all of that, now look at this, okay? So I revised this from this morning's or the 1 and 6 year plan, and we can change this. This is just kind of what came out of the meeting this morning and my thought. So if you look at this, the first page, the map, so what is in orange would potentially be 1-year projects. So what I did was we've got Bell Street from St. Paul Road over to First Street, and then First Street from the highway up to Bell Street. And what I would suggest in your 1-year plan, at least consider this, is to do that repair work on those roadways. Okay. So on First Street, for example, get those patch places fixed. And now you got a roadway that's it's kind of a Band-Aid, but it's gonna prolong the longevity of that roadway because we're gonna fix those spots. And the thought is, if we're going to do that, well, let's go over to Bell Street and fix that too. And then we kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. So, for example, if you wanted to move forward with that, we can get you an agreement for the layout is pretty much taken care of. The plan set. It's more of just completing specifications, contract document, and then we could go out to bid this fall for next year construction, and hopefully right away in the spring we can get this taken care of. Right, we could bid it so that you've got like a group A could be one of the sections, group B, and then depending on how the bids come in, you could award one or the other or both. So you'd have some options just to see what those numbers look like. but that's gonna extend the life of both of those roadways. So that's what my thought would be for the 1-year plan. On the 6-year plan, added, so those two projects, if you look on sheet 3, those two projects are 47 and 46. So then I also added a 6-year project to Bell Street. And then also a 6-year project on First Street. And if you look at the very last page, the Bell Street is project 48. That would be to do a mill and overlay in that section of roadway. That estimate, at least at this point, is about $500,000. Project 49, that would be to rebuild the roadway with concrete. That's that $1.9 million number. So thought, at least get it on the radar screen at some point in the future. Probably going to need to do something on those two roadways and put that in the 6-year plan just so you don't lose sight of that. The other project I added was that drainage project on Ellsworth Street. So that's project 50. And there's that $455,000 estimate to redo the storm sewer pipe and inlet. So I added that in the 6-year plan. The thought would be maybe this year you want to budget for getting that designed. And then depending on what it looks like next year, then we could go out for bids. Or we could get it designed and we could get that built next year if you want to, try to budget that. So that's kind of that option. And we could change that project 50 to a 1-year project if that's what you want. We could do that and then we're safe if you decide to do it or not do it. All the other projects like project 42, 39, 40, 43, 44, that's to, repave those streets. The one that probably stands out, well, project 28, that's brand new paving. Project 40, that's over by the fire station. That section of roadway is not very good condition. But understand, we just got done with a pretty significant paving project. So some of this stuff is probably down the road ways till you get maybe some of your debt, bonding from previous projects paid off. So. I did a lot of talking, so any questions and comments?
Do you think that we need to put Dodge on that 6-year plan just for the drainage standpoint of it?
We could.
Because I think that road's just gonna disintegrate if it becomes heavy rain.
This morning, John and I went and looked at Dodge Street, and that section of roadway is not in very good condition. And there's that drainage issue there because you got all that water running down that roadway. And it's just eating away at the edge of the asphalt. So yeah, I mean, we could put Dodge Street. I would say if you're going to look at Dodge Street in the future, it'd probably be, well, it would be from 8th Street all the way to 5th Street, and probably be not only the paving but storm sewer. Could do storm sewer initially. That's going to help, but that section of roadway is not in very good condition either. I mean, actually, that's probably worse than Elm or Eagle, really, when you look at it. And I'm just throwing out a ballpark number, but probably to build storm sewer over there, because we probably have to build that, ended at just east of 5th Street cut where it kind of dumps off in there. But we'd probably have to build pipe back up to, well, for sure to 6th Street and maybe even all the way back up to 7th Street, just because you got water coming in, from two directions.
Is there any storm sewer inlets down there? Not down at the bottom of it, yeah.
It's just all surface drained in there.
All street drain, gutter draining. And that's when it rains, it's the road, they cover the whole road. Because it's catching all the water from.
You can see how bad it is when you look at that section between 5th and 6th. It's rough.
Yeah, that one block in there, you can just see that water's just eating away at the edge of the asphalt.
Well, I think that one, even if you go down 5th Street on the south or the east side of 5th Street, between Ellsworth and Dodge, if you go on the east side, that catches a lot because everything off Ellsworth drains down there and then tries to go back that way.
Right.
So
Yeah,
there, that, if you could get the storm sewer to connect all of there and take care of all of it. That's just food for thought for the 6-year plan. That would be my suggestion.
Yep, we can sure add it. And once again, just because it's in the 1 and 6 doesn't mean they're committed to it, but at least it's identifying.
I don't think it's ever a bad idea to have more projects on our list. And if that's something, we talked about that a lot this morning, how bad that is. We might as well put it on the list. I think on the 60th.
Yep, to do that. Would you want to just put at this point to storm sewer or just figure that we may be looking at if we do storm
With the
sewer?
drainage we got there, we'd be smart to put it with storm stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to find somebody to hit the lottery and donate a bunch of money for all these street projects, but.
Well, the thing is, if you build the pipe in there and then build inlets, then come back and pave, you're gonna end up rebuilding the inlets because things are gonna change.
Yeah.
It's like, you're gonna do it all at once, but yeah. I get it. It's a lot of money.
Well, it'd be nice if we could get all the water into this one side. Right now, and on both sides, if we could get the road and slant, put it all on one side. You know, right now it's going down both sides. It's a pretty good clip.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. What that drainage area looks like, you know, how much water's coming in there. It's pretty, I'm sure it's significant, so. But probably for you, what you need to be most thinking about is, you know, what you potentially want to try to budget for this next year. And what that looks like, and realizing that that potential repair work on Bell and First Street, it's a significant amount of money, but that's, you know, it's 1.5 miles of roadway too, and you're gonna prolong the life of it. Because the stuff on First Street's not gonna get any better. It's gonna keep getting worse. That stuff, moisture's getting in there, the subgrade's wet, and it's just gonna keep expanding and it's gonna get worse and worse. So, and the thing about the good thing is we've got a plan set put together, so we're not in this pinch of trying to do something right away in the spring, you know, like get a plan set together and try to get contractors. It's just hard to do, where if we potentially could be more proactive, hopefully you get a better price for doing that work, so. That would be my suggestion for the 1 and 6. We can always change it, and if you want to think about it, but you do need to have this somewhat finalized so that by your next meeting, because in September, when you do your budget hearing, you want to have your hearing on your 1 and 6 year plan too. So at the meeting, what we're going to do, or from the meeting this morning, we're going to get you an agreement for consideration to finish up the plans for that repair work on Bell and First, which also would include putting it out to bid, and then also construction services for you to consider. At least you know what that number would look like. And then we'll do the same on the drainage work, Project 50. We'll get you an agreement for designing that and going out to bids. Okay. Once again, you can consider if you want to budget that or not, but at least you know what the number would look like, right? Do you think, for example, obviously I haven't been in on your budget meeting, do you think like Project 50 is like, would that be something, realizing what the cost is or what the cost you think is going to be, that's something for this next year's budget, or it's like, that's probably going to be pushed off a year. Let's get the design work done.
I know it's gonna be one of our top 3 priorities.
Okay.
Whether we can get it in the budget or not, we'll have to go over the number.
And I was just
To
asking.
me, I think that's our top drainage priority.
I mean, I can put it in the 1 year plan and then it's there. And if you decide to do it, you can. And if it isn't, it just moves to the next year. So maybe just to be safe, we'll put it in the 1 year. Doesn't mean you're committed to it if you're okay with that.
I think,
Whatever you want, I'll do it however you want.
I would say move 50 to the 1 year. And if we only design this year, then that's all we get done. But if we feel like we can find that money in the budget,
right,
that's probably our highest drainage priority.
Once again, if it doesn't happen, but it is kind of a priority, like you said, potential priority project, so. Okay, so I'll add Dodge Street in the 6 year. we'll change project 50 to, one-year project, and if you decide to change something at your next meeting, we can change it, and then we'll have those documents for you before the, September meeting, okay? Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay. Anything else for me? Otherwise, I can stick around for the rest of your meeting, but if not, I'll excuse myself, so.
Sounds good.
I think you're just gonna be bored if you stay. Thanks for coming.
That's fine. I don't mind staying, but
Steve, thank you very much.
you bet, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for all your extra work today.
All right, on to 7CA committee report for streets. Jason and Paul.
Well, you've heard just about everything tonight that we've been working on. At this point, it's just how much money can we spend?
Looks like you can spend a lot of money.
Good.
All right, item B then, street and parks report, John.
I know I had a couple things that you guys had mentioned last week that our last meeting that I haven't got to yet. Jason, the signs, I am aware of them, still resetting the signs before school gets going. I got a few of I think this time I'm just gonna put them all in concrete, so we don't do that. Last time we just pushed them. Anyhow, we did get that culvert on Second Street and Ellsworth jetted out because she was having some issues with some flooding down there. In her driveway, the lady that lives down there, she appreciated that a lot. I did notice today that culvert has failed. It's got a big hole in the top of it, so we're gonna dig the top of it off and try and get a piece of metal and bend it over it so it doesn't take on anymore. But I think that's probably what happened. It probably filled with, didn't help, let's put it that way. We're having a lot of problems with washouts along the shoulder at Ellsworth, and we're still dealing with it. Just gonna happen until we get that road either paved and gutters in it. There's just no way to stop it. That's a lot of what we've been doing. Russ and I helped Russ with that sewer breakdown on the line going into the park bathroom. It was a pretty significant break. We thought it would get a help with the infiltration a lot, but I think there's way more than that. But it helped, so. Pipe was an 8 inch, 6 inch, 6 inch. And it was pretty much broken in half, so. Other than that, it's just a normal. We had to fix the AC unit at the auditorium, the drain was plugged, so it wasn't working very well. We did fix the leaks on the roof in the auditorium. We figured where they were coming from, so.
These are in the bathroom areas.
In the bathroom, we got the drywall patched in and the leaks fixed. Turned out it was loose screws that had worked their way out. Water getting in them, so. Checked this last rain and that came in there, so. Got that all done. You know, other than that. You guys have anything that you need to ask me specifically? I'd be happy to answer. Scott, with that, the street over by you, Jason asked me today, you talked to Griffin about that a little bit. He's planning on doing a little work there. Is that what he said?
That's his plan, and I don't know his final plan there for sure, but.
Well, originally we had talked about kind of like where that area was that washed out. Digging it down and putting some sort of riprap in there to catch it and then go out. I don't know if that's still his plan.
Yeah, I never had a chance to visit with him.
I tried calling him today. He never answered my call. I'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll catch him outside some night here.
Cause I don't really want to put a bunch of rock back in there if it's just gonna wash back out.
Yeah, he doesn't want the rock to go down in there anyway.
No. That's what I mean. And that's the only place it's gonna go right now until something gets done. With that Dodge Street storm sewer, I think that we could probably fix a lot of it because a lot of it does come off of Dodge, if I'm correct. And if we caught that water before it got there, it might help. I don't know.
It did look like some of it came off Dodge.
It does come off Dodge. I've been up there and watched it. There's a channel that cuts right off Dodge, so. I don't know if we could capture some of that water in a storm sewer rather than go over the ground, get it down underground.
But I didn't really see it coming from your side of the road. As much as maybe we thought it did. There's more channels.
It is claimed it's all my water, but
It's not, I've watched.
I'm not seeing a channel. I mean, if it was.
I know, I don't.
You'd see a channel that's straight across the street.
No, I've gone up there when it's rained heavy and it's running down the east side of that street off Dodge is where it's running. So we'll keep an eye on it a little bit more. I think it's gonna rain the end of the week again. So
Looked at the aftermath of it.
other than that, we're just trying to kill weeds. They're growing like crazy,
Weeds.
growing like weeds.
John, did you mow this? Where the storage area is along the highway, or did he mow that, like that where all the trailers and stuff are?
He did not. I
He
don't, I,
know that I saw him out.
He did that?
I think you guys hit the right away there.
Today?
he must have.
Yes.
Cause I've seen the top part mowed by the
Yeah.
sidewalk. but
Yeah,
it's Still
on the other side of the sidewalk.
The ditch.
Yesterday, I think.
He didn't go down that hill.
No, I mean, he did this,
That's another thing.
this side of the sidewalk. So I just didn't know because I know Scott had said that he had taken his mower down there and done it before. That's why I was just curious if it was us.
We didn't do it.
Okay.
With that though, we're. I don't know, I can't believe that the state doesn't say anything to a few of these properties around town that don't have any vegetation on them that just washes away.
I can't believe we're not gonna hear a bunch more about Sixth Street.
Yeah, well.
They were cleaning that up
He did a pretty good-
all-
he did a good job of cleaning it up, I'll give him that, but
There was people down there till dark almost
Mhm.
yesterday. That is a huge mess.
it is, and
Is there an
Coming
ordinance?
down
Does it
behind
have
it.
an ordinance at all?
Yes, there's-
Vegetation or?
Did you see how much mud? was-
I didn't see it.
Oh, it was terrible.
Oh, no.
But it wasn't
Oh.
Lawrence cleaning it up, it was
It wasn't,
guys.
it wasn't just over the sidewalk anymore. Now it's blocking that whole east entrance.
who was cleaning it up?
It was two guys throwing mud in the back of a truck. It was
I think-
NP Mart's.
Oh, it
I
was.
think. It wasn't Lawrence, I know that.
Yeah, I think it was MP Mart because I was getting gas.
Yeah, cause it was that deep on that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll have to- I know he put,
There's
put a
something-
silt fence up along there, I
You need to
saw.
put silt fence like.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, him and his wife are putting the big fence all the way around.
Just on the bottom side, but you need to. Here.
Well, this isn't on the agenda, so,
And it's,
Yep, good point.
but,
sorry,
for future, I need,
I didn't-
I'm gonna do. some-
shouldn't have brought that up.
No. We'd have to have him, or whoever it is, have a chance to defend him.
Okay.
Hold off on that. That's all I have on my report.
All right, John, thank you very much. On to D, water sewer. People services report. They're not here, but we do have a report. Looks like there was a small leak in the chlorine feeder. Russ, you might be aware of that.
I fixed it.
Okay.
So, okay, so moving forward, will you just be submitting a report or giving it to Kate and then we'll get something?
Great.
Yeah.
I guess we probably won't get another.
Yeah, we won't.
Okay,
Okay.
for sure.
So the biggest thing that I've always gotten from their reports is I'd still like to make sure that we see the numbers going to Fremont. And if we can graph that over the last 5 years,
It'll be, yeah.
you know, that tells us if these things that we fixed on Ellsworth are
Mhm.
making a difference or not. So
And I did find another leak today, I think, behind. Where's that, fourth and fifth, in
Yeah.
between Dodge and Ellsworth, and they're in the back alley. There's drain, I got some photos of it. There should look, only two houses should be coming off of that. And there's ductile iron in there,
Behind like Alta Russell.
Yeah.
oh,
and there was a ton of water coming through, so. In there, so I'll get that
and
camera.
that's where we've been talking about tonight, how much water drains that way. So
I'll get that camera and the manhole down right from
Yeah,
lodge at the end that where the flag is. There's some infiltration on that. We'll probably have to get that manhole rebuilt.
okay.
When was it that we had a sewer bill to Fremont consistently under $10,000? How long?
It's been a long time now.
And last month is
That's been the-
51,000.
Well, the last 3 days we pumped 750,000 gallons. Cause it's been running both pumps for the last, well, since when I turned them on at 7 Sunday morning.
Yeah.
They've been nonstop. I shut it down to 1 o'clock.
I'm betting we're getting a lot of it from behind that trailer park down there.
I don't see.
That's supposed to be lined.
No, not that one. There's some in the trees too.
On the other side of the tracks.
Oh,
On the other side of the tracks, I drove down there and
Yeah, there's water standing down there, I'm sure.
there's really not back in that ditch, but
I don't know where
I got
that is.
manholes,
Right.
cause they're,
They were on the map. We had them on the map. But
We do, we have a map, I guess.
Where have we had them with that?
We are, so, People Services have claimed that the map is their property, not ours, even though when we converted from Beehive to Diamond Maps, we gave them the map. Somewhere in the middle, there's a lack of documentation. So at this point, they're asking $6,500 for the maps. We've gotten Jake started, that he's working on converting the maps from an old map to a new map that's in our possession and working diligently to get as much done as possible, pulling information off of it. So we're hoping that we can get most of it done here.
9 days then?
Yes,
the goal.
I think so.
and then
He got like
happy,
most of the west side of town done today, so
Okay.
I can't imagine the rest of the town takes.
is he doing water sewer?
He's just putting it all in, yeah.
So we have 3 or 4 more days before I'll do the same. We'll do you, just keep hammering away.
I think we'll be fine.
Cause that behind them tracks, when I talked to Buck, he said them things are deep. And there's so much metal out there. Metal detectors, it's gonna be fun, they're gonna be fun to find.
Why would they be so deep there?
I think they keep adding rock and pushing rock back further. Cause I was down there with Diamond Maps today looking and it's like, well, there should be one
Mm,
somewhere right in here.
I wonder if it would
But I'm
be
gonna,
beneficial if
we're probably gonna have to talk to the railroad to take the mini down there to dig that up, won't we?
So when we were trying to clean out that gutter, they told us if you're 25 feet or further away from the tracks, you're okay. If you're fixing, yeah. If you're farther than 25 feet away from the tracks, we had no problem. They're closer than that, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
To the tracks? Are they gonna cover them with their tracks? They do a double track?
I don't know, we need to,
Well, I'm not for sure. Well, they do double tracks, they just have.
so we need to get a hold of somebody. I've got a contact with them that finally got that culvert. I'll call him and I'll tell him what we've got, these two concerns with adding culverts and
Yeah.
potentially trying to terminate sewer lines that if they're doing something, see who we can get in touch with.
Cause if I can get one of those found, though, but I don't think, looking at that bottom manhole, most of the water's coming this way.
Hmm.
I think out in Traverse Field, I think we got problems out
You know, we've said that before, but
We smoked it.
I think they smoked it and couldn't find anything out, but who knows how deep it is, you know, if it's deeper than.
there. Well, they're probably 2 foot deep,
Mhm.
Oh, is he good with?
cause he's laying disc and chisels. Probably 3 foot deep on there.
And how deep can it be in the ground and still show the smoke leaks?
I have no,
Yeah,
depends how, if the ground's dry. But if it's wet when they smoke it, I would just like.
Well, to getting that one fixed in the Bell Creek Park was a great first step.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
See water
one,
running.
this other one, I can show you photos after a while. You know, there's a lot of water coming.
Just seeing surface water run right into a hole, right into our sewer, and knowing we're pumping all that to Fremont
With a big hole.
was just flushing money. So, all right. Russ, anything else for the People Services / water operator report?
Just them check valves on there.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that next. No, you're all good. Item B, committee report, Paul. We don't have anything new, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay. Item C, discussion about drainage issue and solutions behind new vet clinic building.
Got this in your packet. This estimate, this came from, I met with the contractor that built the vet clinic. We've had some ongoing issues with some water behind it. We didn't have these issues before because there was really nothing to drain off of there. Now there's building and everything. So we're catching a lot of water on the west end of that alley and it runs over. And we've got some complaints from the owner of the storage units. And so I approached the builder and he wants to work with us. And we met with their dirt guy. And this is the estimate that he came up with. It's kind of a 3-part thing. Casey's has part of it. We have part of it. And the vet has part of it. Our part would be the 2 loads of rock on it, just to grade it out so that everything kind of runs off the road and back into the ditch where it's supposed to be, whether it be on that one side or the other. Everything's going to drain from west to east to the culvert between Casey's and the property to the east of Casey's. There's a culvert back there. We're going to try and get everything to drain from, what is that, P9 all the way over to them culverts. Currently, it just kind of sits down on P9 and there's a high spot kind of by Casey's, which didn't affect anything before because there wasn't that much water.
Nobody was watering that lot.
Yep. I tried contacting this Nitro Excavating to see if he'd heard anything more from the vet clinic and Casey's, because they received the same estimate, to see if they wanted to go forward with it. My suggestion would be just to approve it. If they don't, then it's kind of a moot point. We wouldn't do it. But that's up to you guys.
Is there anything else we can do to provide relief other than this plan, or?
This is the plan that we all came up with, kind of brainstorming, other than storm sewers, but I don't think you want to go that route in an alley. I mean, the guy from Nitro was fairly confident he could get it to drain from point A to point B.
All we would need to approve is the $1,200 worth of rock.
The other thing I failed to mention is with that retainage pond, I don't know if you've driven behind there at all or saw the retainage pond that they have for their parking lot. It fills up quickly if it rains a lot. Like yesterday, it was completely full again. And currently, there's riprap that comes off the west end of that retainage pond. And it drains it all goes right to where the water's sitting. That doesn't help at all either if we get a substantial rain. They propose to them to put a drain off that retainage pond shooting to the east, down farther, to get that retention pond to not hold water all the time as much. Because right now it's it's not safe for one thing, because it's 5 feet deep. And if they get it down to 2 feet deep, if it rains, we don't want to lose an animal, kid, whatever. So.
The hose that they got in there now, I seen yesterday,
It's a pump. They got a pump in there. They're pumping it out as they need, and as need be, because like I said, it has to get to the top and then drains out the riprap, or it just drains down. And that's the only way it empties.
So on your drawing here, John, on the far right-hand side or to the east, that's where the culvert is?
The culvert, yes,
Okay.
on the east side of Casey's.
Okay,
Between that, yep. It comes off the highway, Jason, up there by,
yep, that's what I thought this was it.
yep. And
So
then
they're gonna try to get
it goes underneath that alley, and it goes on the maybe the south side of that alley.
Okay, so where the water is pooling on the left side of this picture on the west, they're gonna try to get that to run all the way to that
Right.
culvert is?
Correct. Right now, there's a high spot kind of from where their drain's gonna come out, where they're proposing. There's a high spot by Casey's, which they were trying to get the water to run that way, I'm assuming, but they're gonna try and cut that high spot out. And that's where the Casey's comes into play. They got a little bit of grade the ditch. Which is, $300 or something.
So you would like us to make an approval for $1,200?
For the 1,200, just to regrade the road while he's there doing it.
I'll make a motion to approve the $1,200 estimate for rocks and grading on the alley behind Casey's and the pet hospital.
I'll second that.
And that's $1,200 for rock and grading.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of $1,200 to be spent on rock and grading on the alley behind the pet clinic and Casey's. We have a vote.
Paul Kraus, Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jason
Aye.
Weasey, Jeremy Hansen, Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item D, discussion of possible approval of quote from electric pump for check valve replacement in the amount of $11,435. Russ, tell us about it.
That's the check valves down in the lift station. One is it's seeping water back. It's not working at all. So we have the pumps running, we get a vibration between the pumps, which is not good on the pumps. And hopefully Freeman has a check valve or pumping water there, but if they don't, all that water's coming straight back to us. And we're getting metered twice from them.
These pumps down there have been an issue for the last, I would say, almost going on 10 years. So if you think that valve is gonna increase pump life,
It needs to be done.
yeah,
Because it's when it comes back, when I shut the valve off, or electric pump did, because we're just running the one pump. It runs smooth as butter,
mhm.
but when you open that up, that water's coming back, must be swirling in there, and it just vibrates the heck out of it.
That makes sense. That you're having problems.
So
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from electric pump for check valve replacement in the amount of $11,435.
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the quote from electric pump for the replacement of the check valve or valves. Is it plural? Is it two or one? Two check valves in the amount of $11,435. Let's have a vote.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item E, discussion of possible approval of well and pump test agreement from Sergeant Drilling.
and that is checking the wells out for their efficiency. They kind of go through the motors. Give us the pumping curve. And it'll show us the life of the wells. See if they're running efficient or not. Kind of give us a plan. Okay, this one's bad. If we have something going wrong. Hey, we got a couple years to get a new well or reline it or so forth. It's something we did all the time, every year. It just gives you a good reading on your wells.
And do you know, do you have any records of recent that we've done this?
Last one I saw was 17.
So at Mount Michael, you did this every
We
year
did it every year.
and we have no record that we've done it in 8 years.
And that's something I highly recommend.
Where did we do the drawdown and stuff?
We failed the state test because
I don't think it was.
we were told it was.
I know we were having meetings over in the other building still.
I was there for just a few months.
Yeah, because we can't do any drawdowns.
Was it-
No,
We
it's
were
not
talking
allowed.
about that, Wayne, yeah.
Because we have to have that from the state,
I can't believe that it was 17. There's had to be.
and that hasn't been done for 6 years.
Must have been.
And the amount is 450 per pump.
Uh-huh.
There's 900.
Then I'll have them look at the or
Control.
drawdowns, if not,
But
then
then
we'll have to,
Right.
after that,
that's another
I thought it was on there.
nice bill you're gonna like.
And need to do the drawdown test. We need to do the drawdown test within the next year. Or is it a yearly thing?
I'm supposed to do it every month.
Okay.
And do we have records of prior drawdown tests?
No.
Nothing either.
He got dinged on it this last
Mhm.
inspection.
will they be able to get us a price to do that before our budget? So if we have to do it,
I'll give him a call. I'm hoping, he said they might be able to just. Might be able to fix the tubing, so it won't be, it's the whole, you take an air compressor, run the well. Otherwise, the new, they said it's like $6,000 a well.
Hmm.
But that's all digital, it's all right there. It's just. So we could have them do the old tubing too, I think.
I'll make a motion to approve well and pump test agreement from Sergeant Drilling. $450 per pump, which equals $900. Was presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the well and pump test agreement from Sergeant Drilling in the amount of $450 per pump. Can we have a vote?
Pepper Corney,
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Jason Weasey, Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item E, Police, Washington County Sheriff Report.
In our quarterly meeting today, before our meeting, we discussed the issues that were brought up the other day. Parking, UTV, ATV, golf cart. Concerns of whether or not they're being registered. A couple specific property issues. We asked the sheriff to give us a report when they pull people over, so that we can ensure that we're following up to make sure that they are purchasing license for those ATVs, UTVs, etc., golf carts. Said that he would also follow up with us on a couple of the parking concerns. Got anything else?
And as far as any nuisance properties, he's willing to hand deliver any letters that we come up with.
I think we've gotten a little lax on that, maybe.
Good. Any questions or comments on those items?
As far as nuisance properties, are we handling things the right way as far as gathering information? Is it best for us to email you pictures or?
I mean, yeah, the most helpful thing is pictures, because when I just get calls of someone's, I have to now leave this office and whatever. So pictures are the most helpful. I sent 3 nuisance letters about some yards. One lady has, I tried to break up the town by section because it's way too overwhelming to send 60 I mean, how am I supposed to follow up on that? So I don't know. I mean, it's only gonna be a couple at a time. I'm one person, a lot of to-dos. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you having him hand deliver them or not?
It just depends. Like if it's like, the people behind carry saps, yeah. If it's like, okay, your grass is like 5 inches tall and it's or whatever tall, it's like, I'll just send you a letter.
Sure.
It doesn't need to be shared by your door. I also don't like people calling me mad at me because I sent a sheriff to their door. Sometimes you can kindness and tell them with, be sweet. This depends.
Thank you. All right, anything else? Let's move on to the radar sign report, item C.
Sheriff continues to utilize that report and sending it with deputies to make sure that they're trying to patrol at those high speed times that we've continued to see. Again, we're not exactly sure if some of those high speed ones are when people are leaving town in terms of for emergency calls or not.
Sure.
No way for us to tell that for sure. Like if we have volunteer firemen that just take off from town and then people, I mean, because we don't have the 911 list in terms of those calls that can prepare for that time.
we got somebody that could probably help us out with that. And it's on the road. It's a little bit of legwork for you.
There we go. It'd be a little bit of lead work, but I am not done.
Maybe next month, if I get it ahead of time, I'll try pulling up all the reports and see if we can see a trend, if it seems to be making a difference. I'd be kind of neat to see if it's making an impact. Okay. Anything else on the radar sign report? All right, let's move on. Item F, committee report. Jeremy? Parks, that is.
Biggest thing that we have on ours is tomorrow we'll have our pool committee and our first meeting to move forward with forming that committee and hopefully subcommittees. And see what that will bring. And yeah, we have someone coming in from design work and yeah, looking forward to seeing the community get involved in that aspect. So
Kevin's the engineer from Aquatic Design. He'll be here to talk to the committee and talk about doing mostly discovery on what's needed, what the committee would like to see, and start building kind of a case for what might be done. So really, he's collecting information at this point. But we do have more than 20 people who volunteered to be on the committee. So we're interested in seeing it move forward, or at least doing discovery.
And it's at 6:30 tomorrow here.
6:30 right here.
Yep.
How many of us can come in? 2? Or be in violation of anything?
I was thinking of that too.
You Zoom?
I'll find out. Can we find out tomorrow?
I'm okay if you guys are gonna be here, then I won't worry about it.
I plan to come and speak to
I
him.
was thinking of that too, if any other board members could participate and I'd have to look into that more.
Yeah.
That'd be great if you can welcome them and thank them for, on behalf of the entire.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I wanted to do it, just to make sure they feel appreciated for being there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, item B, monthly library report. No report this month. The library usually takes July off. But they did provide their budget numbers as we reviewed on Thursday. I believe EECS reviewed their computers and should have put this on the budget session, but EECS is recommending a couple computers be replaced in the library.
Yes.
It's just something to note that we'll probably add some money there for those computers. And item C, I guess that's a discussion about the pool project. So we already addressed that in the committee report. Unless there's any other questions on those items. G, cemetery committee, Scott and Jeremy.
Oh, nothing to really report this time. Any tree damage after the last round? Probably all right there. And
The washouts like everywhere else. Yep. You're gonna take care of.
Okay. Unless there's anything else, move on to item B, discussion about sexton duties.
I asked for this to be added because I had a conversation with Trevor. He feels like it's a duty that he would rather find somebody else to do it. I don't know what you guys feel like, if that's something we could do in-house or if we should hire another person. I figured this was a good place to discuss it.
Yes, we already do all of the plot sales and record keeping and maps. I think really the only other thing that we haven't done in the office is like locate the graves. And that's something that you guys have helped Trevor with. So I don't know how much work goes into that exactly, but as far as like paperwork, it's not much work. I mean, we take most of the calls, he maybe gets a couple calls, a couple times a month. So if they're passed along here, we won't notice really any difference in the workload. It would just be locating graves. I don't know.
Do you guys deal with the funeral homes?
Sometimes, yeah, and they'll send us the
Exactly.
like continuation. Yes, I have dealt with them. I have dealt with that. Yeah, unless there's more to it, but I think it's just that fee, the perpetual care fee.
Well, I would imagine if we're gonna bring that in-house, if you guys are comfortable with that, we would have to look at an ordinance change to change all the fees, the sexton fee and
Right.
I don't know if that's something we should have our lawyer look at, what would need to be changed.
I don't know what that would mean, if it just says to appoint a sexton and pay them $500 annually or what it says, but
There's supposed to be a fee every time.
There's an open.
Yeah,
$50 for each.
Yeah.
But that's what the funeral home collects, and they only send that to, that's that perpetual care fee. But they only send, they don't even send it every time, so I don't know.
Well, I thought we adjusted what we pay the sexton every time there's a,
It's just been 500 annually. Nikki said that Jean would just submit invoices from time to time and that there wasn't really a rhyme or reason.
maybe it was.
Trevor never has.
Maybe it
Yeah.
was the annual fee that we adjusted then.
Maybe then, I don't know, so.
We need to.
Nothing. Okay. Kate, is that something you want to talk to Trevor about on what else that he's covering that may be?
To him a little, like last week,
Yeah,
he's Trevor, he made it sound like it was no big deal and it wouldn't be, whatever, it's just,
Okay.
so. I don't know, I don't see a problem with it,
okay.
because I don't think it's gonna be this like whole workload.
He didn't make it sound like there's other stuff he's doing that you don't know.
No, and he's already given us all the records. I mean, we have everything.
Okay.
He just take a phone call from time to time and show people plots or whatever.
I would say just check with our lawyer then and have them look at our ordinance and see what we would need to change to bring it in-house.
Okay. Let's move on to item H, Washington County Building Permit Report. Roof, deck, plumbing. Nothing else on the building permits, otherwise I'll move on. Item B, clerk report, Kate.
Well, I was gonna say our new server was finally merged and everything works again, which was the case last week, but then today I came in and drives were disconnected, We didn't have Simple City all day. They couldn't figure out how to fix it, so I'm not really sure what's going on with the server. It was really nice last week though, when we were on the new one and everything worked. I was actually able to get everything done by 4 p.m. on Friday, I didn't have to restart my computer 6 times in the day or whatever.
And you've been in contact with him all day today.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. It's not
constant, no.
Okay.
He kept texting me, okay, try now, and then I'd say this still doesn't work, and then we'd do that again, whatever, so. I'm not sure what's going on there, but yes, I mean, last week I was really just trying to catch up on work from the server constantly being down because it was actually working, and now we're kind of getting back in the same spot a little bit. The budget meeting last week, that was a lot to prepare for this meeting. Back-to-back meetings was pretty busy, but figured it out. Been helping the library renew a CD at the bank, got the pool committee together, and I've been talking to Austin Partridge about funding options for that. I sent those 3 nuisance letters. We've had 44 ATV, UTV registrations. Just preparing stuff for board meetings.
When you say the server is down, you can't get access to files, or
So.
it's the web server,
No,
or?
it's like the drives that are connected to this server. But the old one was run off of like a virtual machine, but there were 2 virtual machines and one was like outdated. So if that one got turned on, Simple City was like in 2022. And then if the other one's on, like it's fine, but it's like a virtual machine through VMware or whatever. And we're hosting a server on that. So it's sketchy. Now, I'm not sure, it's just the drives won't connect. They couldn't get the drive to reconnect all day. They got the other drive to connect.
Simple City is the utility.
Utility, yeah, it's everything.
The utility program that.
And accounting.
Drives, and it's disconnecting from the drives, and we don't know at this point if the new drives are on the new server or old server.
Because I was under the impression we were all on the new, but then came in this morning and it's all back to whatever, so. Yeah.
Ways to break down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you don't hear back tomorrow, please let me know. I'll email them again. I'd like to hear more detail on what's going on and why we continue to have problems.
Yeah.
We're going on, what, 7 weeks ago, we installed the server,
Yeah, Memorial Day.
brand new, very expensive server, and it's not good.
Not sure what's happening.
Anything else for Kate on her report? All right, let's move on to item C, discussion of possible approval of quote from EECS for computer and or wastewater operator in the amount of $1,781.46.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from EECS for computer for the water wastewater operator in the amount of $1,781.46.
I'll second that.
Kate, we have a motion and a second to approve the computer for the water wastewater operator in the amount of $1,781.46 from EECS. Let's have a vote.
Jeremy Hansen,
Right.
Jason Weesey,
It's the, so the computer price is up here. This other stuff is fees that go along with it.
The licensing fees and
Oh, it's Microsoft, because he's got to have his. Yeah, licensing fee, business basics, $750.
Okay.
Yep, that's what it is. Sales and charge for secure cloud backup, another fee.
So is that 5250 every month? I'm not sure. That's what I just can't figure out.
Monthly subtotal $60.
I'm good with buying the computer. I'm just saying, I think that
That's a good question. Why are we paying a $50 fee every month for?
because it's doing the secure backup for 750, it says, and then the business basics, another 750. And then $49 for essential IT support on it.
EECS IT Solutions, Essentials IT Support, 145. I'm assuming that 45 plus 52, 60.
I'm just saying, I don't think the 1781.46 is, I mean, that pays for the first month. I just realized that there's more to that bill, I think.
If we're okay with the computer, if we still want to approve that, we can check on the recurring costs, making sure we really should be paying for that because we also pay a base for EECS every month, and they're charging us per computer, which or we can hold off. Russ, are you dying for a computer right now?
do they need a computer?
I think we said,
Leave people service.
Well, I can use yours.
You can use mine temporarily if you need to
Yeah.
use it.
I'm good with them having a computer. I'm just saying,
I'm with you. I want to make sure I understand the recurring cost of it because that nickels and dimes pretty fast. I'm okay with that. If Paul, do you want to
rescind my motion.
rescind your motion?
Yeah, I'll rescind my motion.
Okay.
I want to check into it.
I will reach out tomorrow with this quote, Kate, and find out what that is. That's a great question.
I mean, we could approve for the cost of the computer. So you can still purchase the computer. And then that other part, it just rolls into whatever our monthly bill is with them. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. We do that too.
Or you just, not necessarily the dollar.
So you want me to make a motion for the 1631.46?
That would be the computer cost, the one-time subtotal. Yes, that would be the right amount.
And we could at least get it ordered.
That's what I was like, yeah. I don't want them to be without a computer. I just
I'll
want,
make a motion to approve the purchase of a computer for the water wastewater operator in the amount of 1630. Oh, I'm losing it here.
Desktops.
1631.46
Okay.
with further discussion on the monthly fees.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of the computer in the amount of $1,631.46. With further discussion on the fees. Can we have the vote?
Jeremy Hansen,
aye,
Jason Weesey,
yes.
Paul Kraus, Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Item D, discussion of possible approval of resolution 7212025, adoption of the comprehensive plan. Going on solid 2 years now. The comprehensive plan really, it's been no motion, no changes, no new feedback in the last 6 months. And really, we're to the point where it's time to, unless somebody has thoughts to make changes, we should get it approved before budget time, as it is required to have it on file by the state. Kate, I know we changed the label from 24 to 25. Was anything else changed inside?
Scrolled through it. I didn't see anything else that did change when I went through it today, but
And so it's been the same as
it has,
Harley
yes.
presented to the
Yes.
board.
Yes,
Planning and zoning, everyone else has been a part of
it
it.
has not changed.
Well, I move to introduce a resolution and move for its passage of resolution 7212-025, a resolution of the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Arlington, Nebraska to adopt the 2025 comprehensive plan update for the Village of Arlington, Nebraska. We need the whole thing.
Mhm.
Whereas the Village of Arlington has authority to adopt the comprehensive plan to guide its development, and whereas an update is necessary to reflect current conditions, community input, and future goals. And whereas the Arlington Comprehensive Plan Committee has studied community needs and updated the plan, and now therefore be it resolved by the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Arlington, Nebraska, that the 2025 Comprehensive Plan update be adopted to provide a basis for decisions regarding improvements to community and regulation of land use.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and second to approve resolution 7212-025. Let's have a vote.
Paul Kraus,
Aye.
Scott McCorney,
Aye.
Jason Weasey, Jeremy Hansen,
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye. Resolution 7212-025 is passed and adopted this 21st day of July, 2025. Item E, discussion and possible approval of resolution 7212-025B is the 2025-2026 LARM renewal.
So this is that resolution that I think usually select the 3-year renewal. I think
Does anybody have any questions on the rate? This usually slam dunk higher best rate. If not, I'll go ahead. I would like to move to introduce resolution 7212-025B, whereas the Village of Arlington is a member of the League Association of Risk Management, also known as LARM, whereas Section 810 of the interlocal agreement for the establishment and operations of the League Association of Risk Management provides that a member may voluntarily terminate its participation in LARM by written notice of termination given to LARM and the Nebraska Director of Insurance at least 90 days prior to the desired termination given to, and that members may agree to extend the required termination notice beyond 90 days in order to realize reduced excess coverage costs, stability of contribution rates, and efficiency of operation of LARM. And whereas the Board of Directors of LARM has adopted a plan to provide contribution credits in consideration of certain agreements by members of LARM as provided in the attached letter, be it resolved that the governing body of Arlington, Nebraska, in consideration of the contribution credits provided under the LARM Board's plan, agrees to, is it the last one?
I think it's the first one.
Provide written notice of termination at least 180 days prior to the desired termination date, which shall be no sooner than September 30th, 2028. That would be our 3-year commitment. 5% discount. And I think that's,
Adopted this one.
I'll wait till we vote on that.
And again, the reason we get the discount is because we're promising that we'll give them 180 days before we'd ever drop them. And we're making a new 1-year commitment for 3 years in the future. And do it annually.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Kate, we have a motion and a second on resolution 7212-025B. Let's have a vote.
Jason Weasey.
Aye.
Paul Kraus.
Aye.
Jeremy Hansen.
Aye.
Scott McCorney.
Aye.
Travis Kramer.
Aye, resolution 7212-025B is adopted this 21st day of July, 2025. Item F, discussion and possible first reading of ordinance 688, amendment to AMC 18.04.020, which is this is regarding the term hard surface, which was in our ordinances, and we did not have any sort of definition behind the word hard surface. And since then, we've had quite a few issues around that. People challenged how we use hard surface as a term. The Planning and Zoning Committee has provided a recommendation there.
Does anyone have thoughts on whether or not we can waive 3 readings? Because I really don't want to be dealing with this until October. Because if we wait with 3 readings, we won't be able to enforce anything until October.
Does it meet the criteria of waiving 3 readings, which is typically an emergency, or I don't know if it meets the criteria. I understand. I'm right with you on this.
Isn't the criteria whether we just voted that way? I mean,
I thought that they wanted to wait.
Well, it's not an emergency when we do it for the wage ordinance.
That's good.
I think it just,
I think it's just whether we vote.
Or is it different though, because the wage ordinance isn't changing our municipal code? This would change our municipal code.
I guess my question becomes are we taking away the opportunity to communicate, this is what we want to do?
Right, because it's changing.
No one's having the opportunity to
Law,
come
technically.
in second or third reading. That's my concern.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry,
I wanted to waive the.
I'm with you. And Kate and I had this conversation this afternoon
Because we want this.
do we think we could waive it? And I just don't think, probably should do some research on what qualifies, but I don't think this qualifies.
much as I would love to just move along, I think we get the hardest feelings when we don't allow anybody an opportunity.
And that's what I'm worried about.
I liked your hard feelings on the hard surface. All right, I'll make a motion to pass ordinance number 688 and ordinance of the village of Evanston, Baskets in Evanston, this the 1804 definitions in regulations and to adopt head surface definition. And a provision for the reading of the same between the ordinances and types of the ordinances and concept sure that's in preventing from effectively the other being by that. And the Board of Trustees, Village of Evanston, Washington, Nebraska, Section 1 Amendment 1804 to definitions and regulations. Evanston Municipal Code is for that amendment as follows. Amendments 1804 definitions and regulations. A head surface shall mean a surface constructed and maintenance of the piping composed of materials such as asphalt, concrete, paving stones, or compacted gravel. Such surfaces must be continuous from the already established driveway and be made of the same material from the front yard. That's all includes the valley access or something like that.
It's different.
I think something like that. It's kind of supposedly know that it's not. Happy that I've got that list of side yard.
So that I'm hoping to go into that is something a certain percentage of side yard in residential. I don't think they could put an entire driveway in the side yard. Very definitely concerns.
That is my motion. Now, second that motion. We have a motion and a second on the first reading of ordinance 688. Let's have a vote.
Scott McCorney.
Aye. Aye.
Jason Weasey.
Yes.
Travis Kramer.
Passes.
First reading is. Not approved, I guess. First reading is approved. We'll just call. On to item 8. Make a motion to adjourn. We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Have a vote. That's nice.